plants evolve, they diverse in different functions. So the things that depend on them will also evolve with those plants. Like if the insects that are feeding on plants, so if the host or plant is evolving and is changing, the insects that depend on those plants will also change with with time. Similarly, if some virus or bacteria or some other pathogen that feeds on a plant and the plant is gonna evolve, so those viruses, those insects, those bacteria and those fungi, so that those will also change with time as their host is evolving. Are you getting my point or not?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
समझ
Yes,
आ रही है
sir.
ना
Yes,
इसकी?
sir.
Yes, sir.
ओके
Yes, sir.
जी, कोई एक्सप्लेन कर देगा कोई एक्सप्लेन कर देगा कि नहीं? लाइक कोई एक्सप्लेन कर दें ताकि पूरी क्लास में समझ आ जाए.
नो सर, समझ नहीं है.
Sir, may I?
जी जी प्लीज.
Sir, insects feeds on plants यानी कि इंसेक्ट जो है उसके होस्ट प्लांट्स हैं. अब वो उसे अपनी फीडिंग देते हैं, न्यूट्रिएंट्स वगैरह अपने प्रिपेयर कर नीड लेते हैं. तो ये उसमें बता रहे हैं कि ये चेंज होते हैं विद द पैसेज ऑफ टाइम टू टाइम, यानी कि जो न्यूट्रिएंट्स होते हैं, न्यूट्रिएंट ऐड होते हैं, तो ये चेंज विद द पैसेज ऑफ टाइम टू टाइम होते हैं. बस ये है.
प्लांट्स चेंज होते हैं तो इंसेक्ट्स भी चेंज हो जाते हैं उनके साथ. जैसे प्लांट्स इवॉल्व करेंगे, इंसेक्ट भी इवॉल्व करेंगे.
हाँ, वो प्लांट्स चेंज होंगे तो उसके साथ इंसेक्ट्स भी चेंज होंगे. सो द मोर डाइवर्स द प्लांट्स आर, द मोर डाइवर्स देयर इंसेक्ट्स आर. इसको इस तरह भी समझ लें कि एक ट्री है, उसके इंसेक्ट डिफरेंट होंगे. एक हर्ब है, उसके इंसेक्ट डिफरेंट होंगे. एक सॉफ्ट प्लांट है, उसके इंसेक्ट डिफरेंट होंगे. एक हार्ड ट्री है, उसके इंसेक्ट डिफरेंट होंगे. समझ आ रही है? So इसका मतलब है कि the plants with the time when the plants evolve, their insects are the things that depend on those plants, they will also evolve with those plants. Okay, so diversity is like more like what we think, and it's beyond our thinking actually. So evolution has produced enormous variety in insects. In the picture, if you can see that the antennae, the antennae of these insects, only if we consider the antennae, these antennae actually they are different. So if we only consider antennae in different insects, they are different. Like you can see, so from this we can we can think of the diversity, how diverse are these insects. So going further, insects are insecta. Also, it will also be called insecta from the Latin insectum. So, or hexapod invertebrates. So they will be invertebrates, and they will be having hexapod. They will be having 6 legs. And the largest group in arthropod phylum. So phylum Arthropoda. So in that phylum, the insect is the largest one. And what is insect actually? तमाम कीड़ों को हम insect नहीं कहेंगे. Like सारे कीड़े जो हैं वो insect नहीं होंगे. Insects are only those entities that will be invertebrates, they will be hexapod, they will be having 6 legs. And what is actually entomology? The entomology is the scientific study of insects. So in entomology, people do study insects. And next is, if you can see, insects have chitinous exoskeleton. It will have exoskeleton. इसका जो skeleton है वो endoskeleton नहीं होगा, इसके बाहर एक skeleton होगा. Means के अंदर से ये soft होगा, and the skeleton they will have an exoskeleton and a 3-part body. Means it will have 3 parts like the head, thorax, and abdomen. And will have 3 pairs of jointed legs. They will have legs, they are jointed, but they will have 3 pairs. This is 1 pair, this will be 2 pairs, and this will be 3rd pair. So they will have 3 body parts, means head, thorax, and abdomen, and they will have 3 pairs of legs. Plus, they will have compound eyes. They will not have simple eyes. Single eyes नहीं होंगे, simple eyes नहीं होंगे. They will have compound eyes. We will be studying these compound eyes in detail later on. And a pair of antennae. They will have a pair of antennae. They will have compound eyes. They will have 3 body parts: head, thorax, and abdomen. They will have chitinous exoskeleton, means they will have an exoskeleton made up of chitin. Chitin से बना होगा. And that chitinous exoskeleton will have 3 body parts, will have 3 jointed legs, they have compound eyes and a pair of antennae, and by definition, this will be an insect now. And after that, nearly all insects hatch eggs. And insect growth in constraint by the inelastic exoskeleton. अब हम बात कर चुके हैं कि they will have exoskeleton. So how they will grow? Because this exoskeleton will not let the body grow. So what will happen? It will molt, like it will remove the old exoskeleton and will come out of that exoskeleton, and it will grow then and will make another exoskeleton around the body. And this molting, and this is known as molting. And okay, this procedure is known as molting, and this molting actually occurs 5 to 6 times in the insect life, or more even. And all insects have exoskeleton. Okay, and next is the immature. Okay, and there will be having different stages of like insects in their life. Like the immature stage often differ
So
from
please
adults.
repeat the time period of molting.
Can you repeat your question?
Sir, repeat the time period of molting. Is it 3 to 4 times?
4 to 6 times, or even they may be more.
Sir,
Okay,
why they do molting if they have an exoskeleton?
Okay, the exoskeleton will let the body to grow. It will have compact size. So if and this insect needs to grow like in size. So to grow in size, after certain time period, it will need to grow more. So it will come out of the exoskeleton and will make another exoskeleton. It will grow and will make another exoskeleton around the body. And after that, after some time period, it will make another, like it will remove that exoskeleton again. And this removal of like the exoskeleton from the body, this is called molting. ठीक है, समझ आ रही है? मीन्स के ये देखें, ये इसका एक्सोस्केलेटन है, ये इंसेक्ट इससे बाहर निकल गया है, ठीक है, एंड इट विल मेक अनदर एक्सोस्केलेटन अराउंड इट, ठीक है. ओके, एंड नेक्स्ट इज the immature stages often differ from the adult in structure. अब देखिए ये immature stages हैं, like egg, larva and pupa. So they are different from the adult. Like this is the adult one, and this is the egg, this is the larva, and they are pupa. They are entirely different structures. So these immature stages often differ from the adult in structure, habitat, and habits. So they will be different in structure. They will be also having different in habits. So they will be active. The larvae are normally active. Pupa is the inactive stage. So they have different habits. The habits are different, structure are different, and habitat are also different. They will like grow. They will have one habitat. They will have another habitat, and they will have another habitat. They will fly. And they could not fly, and they have different habits. They have different habitats. They have different structures. So and can include passive pupal stage, in those that undergo 4 stages of metamorphosis. Metamorphosis means change. Okay, so if the stages of life are 4, if if the insects have actually two different stages of life. We will study in the coming slide, but here you need to understand if the stages of life are 4, means this is one stage of life, this is another, this is third, and this is fourth. Like this is 1, 2, 3, and 4. So if they have 4 stages of life, then there will be a stage known as pupa. The pupal stage is actually inactive stage. And after this inactivation, they will produce the adult and so on. So if there are 4 stages of metamorphosis, then there will be a pupal stage, the pupa. And next is insects that undergo 3 stages of metamorphosis, they lack pupal stage. So there are some insects that will be having 4 stages of life. Again, there will be some insects that will have 3 stages of life. And this will mean there are some insects that will have 4 stages of metamorphosis, and including pupa, that the pupa will include in that. And some will have 3 stages of life, they will not include pupa. Am I clear up till now?
Yes sir, but
Yes,
sir
sir.
pupa उनमें
Yes,
क्यों नहीं
yes, sir.
होता?
क्योंकि स्टेजेस पे फर्क होता है ना, जिसमें 4 होगा, जिसमें 3 होगा, उसमें एक एब्सेंट हो गया ऑब्वियसली.
Yes. Okay. Somebody who could explain the whole slide. It will be better. Who will volunteer to explain the whole slide? Ji Anam.
सर मैं ओके सर इंसेक्ट्स का बड़ा है इसमें कि जो है हमारे पास इंसेक्ट्स होते हैं, बेसिकली उनकी जो डेफिनेशन होती है वो ये होता है कि जो वो इंसेक्ट ऑर्गेनिज्म जिनके हेक्सापोड होते हैं, इन्वर्टिब्रेट होते हैं, और उनका जो फाइलम है वो आर्थ्रोपोडा होता है. तो डेफिनेशन के अकॉर्डिंग हमारे पास जो इंसेक्ट्स होते हैं, मतलब उनको हम यही कहते हैं. इसके बाद इंसेक्ट्स जो होते हैं उनके हमारे पास जो एक्सोस्केलेटन होते हैं वो और कंटिन्यूअस एक्सोस्केलेटन एग्जिस्ट करते हैं. उनके 3 बॉडी पार्ट्स होते हैं जिनको हेड, थोरैक्स और एब्डोमेन कहते हैं, और 3 पेयर्स ऑफ जॉइंट लेग होते हैं, कंपाउंड आईज होती हैं उनकी, और अ पेयर ऑफ एंटेना होते हैं. नियरली जो हमारे इंसेक्ट्स होते हैं वो सभी हैच एग्स करते हैं. नेक्स्ट हमने ये पढ़ा है कि इंसेक्ट्स ग्रोथ इज कांस्टेंट बाय in elastic exoskeleton and development involves a series of molt. उसके बाद ये एक molting phase से गुजरते हैं. molting phase ये exoskeleton हमारे पास से रिमूव होती है. growth phase जैसे जैसे इंसेक्ट की ग्रोथ होती है, नेक्स्ट फेज में जाता है अपनी ग्रोथ के, तो वो जो ऑब्वियसली वो अपना जो एक पुराना एक्सोस्केलेटन होता है वो उसका रिमूव होता है, तो न्यू लेयर्स की फॉर्मेशन हो जाती है. अपने उसका ग्रोथ साइज मतलब बॉडी साइज जो है वो बढ़ जाता है ग्रोथ के दौरान. उसके बाद इमेच्योर स्टेजेस ऑफ डिफरेंट क्रोमेटोड्स इन स्ट्रक्चर, और ये जो होती है इसकी 4 स्टेज मेटामॉर्फोसिस. जो ऑर्गेनिज्म 4 स्टेज मेटामॉर्फोसिस एग्जिस्ट करते हैं वो उनको अंदर जो होता है ना प्यूपा, ये स्टेज उनके अंदर एग्जिस्ट करती है. इन लार्वा, प्यूपा, मॉथ और एग 4 स्टेजेस इनकी होती हैं. लेकिन जो 3 स्टेज मेटामॉर्फोसिस होते हैं उनके अंदर प्यूपा एग्जिस्ट नहीं करती, ये स्टेज उनके अंदर एब्सेंट होती है.
ठीक है, ग्रेट.
सर ये जो मोल्टिंग प्रोसेस होता है ये सांप में होता है क्या?
नहीं, सांपों में भी होता है ना, वो उसमें भी मोल्टिंग तो स्टेज उसमें भी होती है, लेकिन हम इस वक्त इंसेक्ट को कवर कर रहे हैं. वो मोल्टिंग बहुत सारे ऑर्गेनिजम्स में है, वो अपना जो ऊपर बाहर जो होल है ना वो शेड करके न्यू होल बनाते होते हैं. मींस कि that's normal, and in insect this is more common.
ओके.
सर ऑब्वियसली जो तो एक्सोस्केलेटन एग्जिस्ट करते हैं उनके अंदर तो होगी.
जी exactly. Okay, and next is should I go further? ठीक है, यहाँ तक clear है?
Yes sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and we will go further, and that is this slide. Like, what is actually metamorphosis? Actually, if you can see on the left of the slide, the way that certain organisms develop, grow, and change form. Like the organisms, the insects need to develop, they need to grow, they need to change form. So if you can see the different stages of life of insects, that this is egg, the larva, this is pupa, and this is adult. So they have different, that they need to develop into adult, they need to grow, they need to change form. If you can see, they are different forms. So, and metamorphosis actually means change. So the change in the development in the life, that is actually the metamorphosis. So if you can see on the right of the slide, you can see what's the difference between complete metamorphosis and incomplete metamorphosis. The complete metamorphosis mean 4 stages of life, and incomplete metamorphosis will mean 3 stages of life. So if you can see here, in the holo metabolous insects, like they will have complete metamorphosis. They will have 4 stages of life: egg, larva, pupa, and adult. And they will be each stage will be entirely different from the previous stage. Means egg is like larvae is entirely different from the egg. Now pupa is entirely different from the larvae, and adult is entirely different from the pupa. And same, and if you compare it with the hemibolus, like those, they have incomplete metamorphosis. So if you can see, egg, young nymph, later nymph, and adult, if you can see, they have resemblance with one another. So this is incomplete metamorphosis. They have 3 stages of life, like egg, young ones, and the adult. So they have 3 stages of life, and they have 4 stages of life. So this will be complete metamorphosis, and they will undergo incomplete metamorphosis. They will also known as holo metabolus, and they will be known as hemi metabolus. Hemi means half. So they will be having, this will be called as hemimetabolous. And also they will be called complete metamorphosis. They will undergo complete metamorphosis, and they will undergo incomplete metamorphosis. If we compare both of these, so complete metamorphosis refers to a type of insect development whose egg, larva, pupa, and adult stages differ greatly in morphology. So in structure, in morphology, they will greatly differ. And in comparison with the incomplete metamorphosis, the type of insect's development where gradual changes occur in the insect during development from egg to adult, and consist of 4 stages: egg, larva, pupa, and adult. They will consist of 3 stages: egg, nymph, and adult, and consist of very active larva and inactive pupa. So they will be having active larva and inactive pupa. And but consist of the incomplete metamorphosis, they will consist of a nymph which resembles the miniature adult. Adult ko agar hum chota like if we consider it small, this will be the nymph. And the exoskeleton of the insect is completely molted. They will molt it completely, but a certain portion of the exoskeleton remain throughout the life. So they will the molting will not be complete. The exoskeleton will not shed completely, and occurs like iske examples kya hai? Wasp, ants, and fleas. They are the examples of complete metamorphosis. And the incomplete metamorphosis will occur in termites, praying mantis, and cockroaches. So cockroaches or is tarah ki cheezon mein, like they will undergo incomplete metamorphosis, and ants or wasps jo hain, ya fleas jo hain, they will undergo complete metamorphosis. Incomplete metamorphosis, they will have all stages will occur on one host. ये एक ही host पे survive करेंगे. और जो complete metamorphosis है, the host will be different. We will be studying in detail. So अब देखें incomplete metamorphosis example क्या है? Lice की example है, like the egg, larva, and they will be like nymph, and after that the female or the adult. So egg, the nymph, and after that the adult, and then again the adult and the egg, and they will like the all stages will be on one host individual.
Excuse me, sir.
जी जी. And
सर
same,
आपकी वॉइस नहीं आ रही.
आवाज क्लियर नहीं है क्लास?
सर क्लियर है.
सर क्लियर है.
क्लियर है सर.
खैर है, वो असल में मेरे ख्याल से बाजुकात लाइक दोनों एंड पे हो
सर
सकता है.
बिल्कुल भी क्लियर नहीं आ रही.
तैमूर, फिर हो सकता है कि आपके एंड पे नेट का इशू हो. देख लें, हो सकता है थोड़ी देर तक ठीक हो जाए. ठीक है. ओके. एंड ये स्टेजेस अगर हम देख लें, they are like this will be complete metamorphosis. This is the example of incomplete metamorphosis. This will be the example of complete metamorphosis. In complete metamorphosis, we can like assume like the eggs, they will give rise to the larvae, and they will give rise to the pupa, and they will give rise to the adult. So adult are of three types. Like they are ants, and in the ants they will be having three types: the worker, the male, and the female. And the female may be queen, or like and this is the female worker. So they like, but all these three, they will be adults, and like they are four stages: the adult, egg, larvae, and pupae. And these four stages, they are entirely different from one another. The pupa is different from the larvae, and so on. So am I clear on this slide?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
अच्छा, कौन एक्सप्लेन करेगा? आगा, can you explain the slide?
Sure, sir. सर
जी,
ये
please.
हमने मेटामॉर्फोसिस के बारे में पढ़ा. मेटामॉर्फोसिस मीन चेंज इन इनवर्टिब्रेट, चेंज इन इंसेक्ट, चेंज इन ऑर्गेनिज्म. मेटामॉर्फोसिस दो टाइप के होते हैं, कंप्लीट और इनकम्प्लीट मेटामॉर्फोसिस. कंप्लीट होती है 4 स्टेज मेटामॉर्फोसिस, जिसमें एग, लार्वा, पीपा, एडल्ट. और जबकि इनकम्प्लीट में एग, निम्फ और एडल्ट में ये 3 स्टेज मेटामॉर्फोसिस होती है. कंप्लीट मेटामॉर्फोसिस हमने एग्जांपल पढ़ी है इसकी इंसेक्ट के, एक आंट की पढ़ी है कि इसमें एग पहले प्रोड्यूस करते हैं, फिर लार्वा में, लार्वा पीपा में फिर एडल्ट आते हैं. लेकिन एडल्ट 3 डिफरेंट टाइप्स के होते हैं, एंड एक वर्कर में एक मेल और एक क्वीन होती है. तो इसमें मेन फर्क ये है कि जो इनकम्प्लीट में है वो होस्ट एक होता है उस पर. जैसे हम देखें कि लार्वा, फिर नेम, फिर फीमेल, फिर मेल और फीमेल मीटिंग और देन. लेकिन जबकि कंप्लीट में ये होता है कि इसमें प्यूपा लार्वा से डिफरेंट होता है, लार्वा एग से डिफरेंट होता है, और प्यूपा से आगे बनते हैं डिफरेंट जैसे. और बाकी हमने पढ़ा कि फाइनल स्टेज में इंसेक्ट बिकम रिप्रोडक्टिवली सक्सेसफुली करते हैं. और एग्जांपल आ जाते हैं वेव्स, एंट्स एंड फ्लीस के. जबकि इनकम्प्लीट में आ जाती है कॉकरोचेस, जो मेन है इसमें. मेन डिफरेंस यही है कि होस्ट होता है एक होता है इनकम्प्लीट में, जबकि कंप्लीट में डिफरेंट होस्ट पे डिपेंड करते हैं. लाइक लार्वा पीपा में डिफरेंस है. एग्जैक्टली सर.
ठीक हो गया. अच्छा, सो वन ऑफ द डिफरेंस इज कि कंप्लीट और इनकम्प्लीट में डिफरेंट क्या होगा कि 4 स्टेजेस ऑफ लाइफ है और कंप्लीट में, और तमाम स्टेजेस जो हैं वो एक दूसरे से डिफरेंट होंगे. लेकिन इनकम्प्लीट में क्या होगा, एग, उसके बाद निम्फ है, और उसके बाद एडल्ट है. लेकिन जो निम्फ और एडल्ट जो हैं वो सेम होंगे, एक दूसरे के साथ रिजेम्बलेंस होगी उनकी. बट ये जो निम्फ है वो स्मॉलर इन साइज होंगे, और एडल्ट जो है वो लार्जर इन साइज होंगे. ठीक है. सो दिस विल बी द डिफरेंस बिटवीन इनकम्प्लीट एंड कंप्लीट. सो दिस विल बी इनकम्प्लीट. कंप्लीट में क्या होगा कि बिल्कुल इंटायरली डिफरेंट स्टेजेस ऑफ लाइफ होंगे उनमें. मींस कि हम ये नहीं कह सकते कि ये बटरफ्लाई है एक, ठीक है, बट यहाँ पे ये कह सकते हैं कि दिस इज दिस इंसेक्ट एक्चुअली. ठीक है, वुडी इंसेक्ट है. ठीक है. सो लाइक दिस इज हाउ वी कैन कंपेयर कंप्लीट एंड इनकम्प्लीट मेटामॉर्फोसिस. सो एंड नेक्स्ट,
एक्सक्यूज मी सर, जो निम्फ है उसके अंदर इनएक्टिव स्टेज नहीं आती ना?
किस में, निम्फ में?
यस एग्जैक्टली.
हाँ, यहाँ पे इनएक्टिव स्टेज नहीं है कोई भी, इसमें प्यूपल स्टेज नहीं है. हमने पिछली स्लाइड में भी पढ़ा था ना कि इनकम्प्लीट मेटामॉर्फोसिस में या 3 स्टेजेस ऑफ लाइफ जिसमें हो उसमें प्यूपा नहीं होते हैं. ठीक है, वो सिर्फ और सिर्फ 4 स्टेजेस ऑफ लाइफ में प्यूपा होंगे.
निम्फिक इमेच्योर स्टेज होती है, इनएक्टिव नहीं होती.
यस, एग्जैक्टली. So should we proceed further?
Yes sir.
Yes sir, sure.
Okay, so good. And Next is जी
सर हमें ये कैसे पता चलेगा कि ये इंसेक्ट जो है इनकम्प्लीट मेटामॉर्फोसिस के अंडर में या फिर कंप्लीट ट्रिप में हो?
सर हम उसकी मेरे ख्याल स्टेजेस को देखेंगे
इसके
या
लास्ट से भी ऑफ करना पड़ेगा।
हाँ बिल्कुल
हाँ
उसके
बस
इस तरह एग्जैक्टली इसके आगे जाके एग्जांपल्स होंगे ये आ रहे हैं अभी तो एंड पे इस लेक्चर के एंड पे कुछ चीजें बहुत क्लियर हो जाएंगी गुड के आपने लाइक इस स्टेज पे क्वेश्चन कर लिया दैट्स अ गुड थिंग के लाइक वी नीड टू थिंक फ्रॉम हियर लाइक हम यहाँ से ही इसी पे सोच लें सो आगे जाके चीजें क्लियर होती जा रही हैं ठीक है लाइबा इज क्लियर
Yes, sir. Okay.
okay that's good okay and next is insect features. If we consider the features of insects, the most diverse insect groups appear to have co-evolved with flowering plants. So जो बहुत ज़्यादा diverse हैं वो insects group है they co-evolve with flowering plants. We see different flowers and they will have different insects as well. Like tree के flowers different होते हैं sunflowers से. So the sunflower, like they will have co-evolved with different insects actually, and same is the case with and the vice versa actually. And the insects are mostly solitary. Like insects जो हैं वो बहुत ज़्यादा insects जो हैं वो अकेले रहते हैं. They will survive in solitary. But some insects such as bees, ants, and termites, they are social and they live in large, well-organized colonies. उनके groups को हम क्या कहेंगे? Colonies कहेंगे. ठीक है? So ये colonies में रहेंगे. Bees, ants, and termites. So group of insects को क्या कहेंगे हम?
colonies.
Colonies. Okay, so like group of fox को group of like wolves को हम क्या कहते हैं? या इस तरह डिफरेंट हम एग्जांपल्स लेते हैं ना सो आपको आवाज आ रही है क्लियर है आवाज आ रही है
सर वो उसका पैक होता है
हाँ एग्जैक्टली पैक यस एग्जैक्टली अच्छा ग्रुप ऑफ टीचर्स को क्या कहेंगे
Staff.
Faculty, yes, exactly. So, group of bees या ants या termites इनको क्या कहेंगे? Colonies. ठीक है. Or like if you go further, some insects such as earwigs. So this is earwig actually. They show maternal care. They will guard their eggs and youngs. So they also show maternal care. So actually we are talking about different behaviors of insects. So some insects, they will show maternal care as well. So, and insects can communicate with one another. They can communicate with one another in different ways. Like male moth can sense pheromones. Pheromone is special chemicals. They secrete special chemicals. So male moths can sense the pheromones of female moth over great distances. So the pheromones is important. So this is actually common. The pheromones are also common in bees, ants. Like अगर हम ये देख लें कि एक honey bee है, how it communicates with other that there is some flower at a certain distance. So if a bee, so they visit a flower and it will come again to its comb. So how the other will go there? So it will in the way to that flower, and in coming back from that flower, it will release pheromones. And those pheromones will be sensed by other ants, by other these honeybees. Like if there is a flower there, at certain place, and the bees is there, and if the bee visit in this way, like here in this way, so what other bees will do? The other bees, it will release pheromones and will come back in this only in this direction. So the other bees will not go directly from here to here. It will follow the same path and will visit that flower and will visit this flower because it will release the pheromones. It will release the pheromones. This bee will release the pheromones and the other bees will follow the same path. So this is how these insects, they communicate with one another. And next is other species, they communicate with sound. And this the cricket stridulate, and the crickets, they stridulate or rub their wings together to attract the mate and repel other males. So they stridulates. So a cricket is the example of that. Lampyrid, the beetles, they have lamp-like, they emit light. So Lampyrids, beetles, they communicate with light. So they emit light actually. So and they are called Lampyrid beetles. So they communicate with light. So these are different features of insects actually. Can somebody explain? Who will explain? Okay, so let me explain one thing. The solitary. Most of insects are solitary. They do not live in groups. They do not live in colonies. They live singly. And wait for a while. Wait while I look for the
Like
chat.
mantis, praying mantis.
Okay. Yes. And most diverse insects, they appear to have co-evolved with flower. So like we know flowering plants, they evolve from non-flowering plants, and they are diverse in nature. There are some trees they flower, there are some herbs that flower, so they will have different insects. So as the tree evolve from a smaller plants, from simple organizing plant to the complex one, so the insects with like they are feeding on those plants, they will co-evolve with those trees. Okay, who will explain? Praying mantis का किसी ने पूछा था अभी?
नहीं सर, वो आपने solitary कहा था, तो मैंने कहा praying mantis और
yes,
उसके
yes,
जैसे
exactly.
और भी हैं वो solitary रहते हैं.
Exactly. Josefa, can you explain this slide? That will be good if you explain this for others.
Yes sir.
G, please.
In the first bullet, ये insects जो होते हैं जो कि flowering plants के साथ contact होते हैं या उनसे relation रखते हैं, वो flowering plants के साथ evolve करते हैं. जैसे flowering plants evolve करेंगे, उसी तरह वो insects भी evolve करेंगे, अपने अंदर change लाएंगे. तो flowering plants से बहुत ज़्यादा huge amounts of huge groups जो होते हैं insects के, वो connected होते हैं, तो इसलिए huge insects जो हैं उनके groups में changes आएंगे. एंड देन इंसेक्ट्स का बताया कि कुछ इंसेक्ट्स होते हैं वो सोलिटरी होते हैं, वो सेपरेटली अकेले रहते हैं, क्योंकि कुछ इंसेक्ट्स होते हैं जैसे बीज, एंड्स और टर्माइट्स, वो सोशल होते हैं और वो ऑर्गेनाइज्ड कॉलोनीज में रहते हैं. सोलिटरी में जैसे कि प्रेइंग मैंटिस आ गया और बहुत से इंसेक्ट्स इस तरह के आ गए, वो सोलिटरी रहते हैं. एंड देन अब बताया कि कुछ इंसेक्ट्स जैसे कि एयरविग्स हो गया, वो अपने एग्स और यंग्स के खिलाफ या एग्स और यंग्स के साथ उनको प्रोटेक्ट करते हैं, उनके लिए केयर शो करते हैं, मैटरनल केयर, कि उनको कोई डैमेज या हार्म ना आए. जैसे ऊपर फिग में कॉर्नर में शो कराया हुआ है कि एयर विग है, वो अपने एग्स को जो है प्रोटेक्ट कर रही है, और कुछ यंग्स भी हैं वहाँ पे. एंड देन इंसेक्ट्स का बताया हुआ है कि वो किस तरह से कम्युनिकेट करते हैं एक दूसरे के साथ. तो 3 वेज हैं या 4 वेज हैं जिसके जरिए वो कम्युनिकेट करते हैं. फर्स्ट वे है कि एक फेरोमोन्स एक केमिकल होता है जो कि फीमेल मॉथ रिलीज करती है एयर में कुछ ओवर ग्रेट डिस्टेंस। जब डिस्टेंस ग्रेट होता है तो उस लिहाज तो मेल मॉथ्स को अट्रैक्ट करने के लिए वो फेरोमोन्स रिलीज करती हैं। तो मेल मॉथ्स उन फेरोमोन केमिकल को डिटेक्ट करता है, उसको फॉलो करता है और फीमेल मॉथ के पास पहुंच जाता है। एंड देन एक और वे बताया वो है साउंड, जैसे क्रिकेट्स का होगा। अगर आप कभी गौर करें कि रात को 9 या 10 बजे करीब आपके कमरों में गर्मियों में ऐसे आवाज आती है तो वो क्रिकेट्स की होती है कि वो साउंड्स को यूज करते हैं एक दूसरे के साथ कम्युनिकेट करने के लिए। देन कुछ इंसेक्ट्स एक दूसरे कम्युनिकेट करते हैं बाय रबिंग देयर विंग्स टुगेदर टू अट्रैक्ट अ मेट एंड रिपेल अदर मेल्स। कि अट्रैक्ट करने के लिए दूसरे मेट को अपने विंग्स को रब करते हैं कुछ इंसेक्ट्स, which is also a way of communication. And then last एक इंसेक्ट है लैम्पीरीड बीटल्स। वो लाइट को यूज करके दूसरे के साथ कम्युनिकेट करते हैं।
लैम्पायरिड।
वही लैम्पीरीड।
Okay, that's good. That's great. Okay, and okay, so is there any question or point here? Anything you want to share? It's clear. Should we
Okay,
go
sir.
further? Should
Yes,
we go
sir.
further? Okay.
Yes,
and-
sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so now the types of insects. Some insects, they damage by feeding on sap, leaves, fruits, or wood. So they will feed on these things and the sap of the plant, leaves, fruits, and wood. So they will damage the crops. Some species are parasitic and may vector diseases. So some insect species, they will be parasite and they will carry diseases. They will be vector for diseases. They will carry diseases. So do you know any insect that carry diseases? They are vector for diseases. Do you know? Do you have any like?
Mosquitoes.
Female
Mosquito.
Anopheles.
Mosquitoes. Exactly. Mosquito is the like golden example. Yes. Okay, and they vector dengue actually, and some other diseases as well. So okay, and some insects perform complex ecological roles. ये ecological roles भी perform करते हैं, like blowflies. For example, this is a blowfly actually, and they help consume carrion, but also spread diseases. So carrion is the decaying flesh of a dead animal. So they will feed on carrion, and they will have ecological role that they are actually scavengers. So they will blow fly like the blow flies, and they will help consume carrion, and they will also spread diseases as well. And insect
सैप क्या
pollinators.
होता है?
जी?
सैप SAP.
Okay. Sap is actually the fluid. Yes, the fluid in the plant. The plants का जो fluid है, cell sap. So that is actually they are sugary content. Sugars उसमें होते हैं ज़्यादा. So these insect feed on those sap. Cell sap जो है ये like leaf के cells जो हैं उसमें जो उसका जो fluid है उसको हम sap कहते हैं. ठीक है?
Okay.
Okay, या plant का जो
Now, what
fluid है.
kind of diseases they are spreading?
There are diverse diseases. हम आगे जाके यही स्टडी करेंगे. इस तरह के प्लांट के डिजीजेस हैं, एनिमल्स के डिजीजेस हैं, वो आगे जाके आ रही हैं. ठीक है?
Okay.
Okay, and like this, they are more common actually, and the diseases they spread are more common. So insect pollinators are essential to the life cycle of many flowering plant species. So they are like flowering plants के लिए insects जो हैं they are actually they work as pollinators. ठीक है? We will also study in detail. हमारा पूरा topic है pollinators पे और flowering plants पे कि how they pollinate. So insect play a role in that pollination. ठीक है? कुछ plants के लिए अगर insects ना हो तो वो pollinate ही नहीं करेंगे. So that is there are certain plants कुछ पे dependent है कुछ पे नहीं है. So the insect pollinators are important, and many insects are considered ecologically beneficial as predators. So many insects are predators. They will feed on other insects. अब अगर ये ladybird beetle है, this is feeding on aphids. ये aphid पे feed कर रही है. आप देखें, this is the mouth of the ladybird beetle and it feeds on the aphid. ये aphid को खा रही है. ठीक है? So this is the predator. ठीक है? And next is a few provide direct economic benefits, like silkworm produce silk. Silkworm जो है वो silk produce करेंगे. Honey bees produce honey. So though they are of economic benefits, they are economically important actually. ठीक है? So this is how insects are too much diverse. समझ आ रही है?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So who will explain?
May I?
Gigi, please.
Can I?
जी प्लीज बताएं. हाँ अरीबा.
Yes, sir. सर आपने कहा कि सबसे फर्स्ट पॉइंट में some insects damage crops by feeding on sap, leaves, roots और wood. कि कुछ ऐसे इंसेक्ट्स होते हैं जो डायरेक्ट मतलब डैमेज करते हैं. डैमेज किसके ऊपर करते हैं? लीव्स के ऊपर, फ्रूट के ऊपर और वुड जो और कुछ इंसेक्ट्स जो है मतलब सैप के ऊपर भी फीड करते हैं. उसके बाद आपने कहा कि सम स्पीशीज आर पैरासिटिक एंड मे वेक्टर डिजीजेस. कुछ ऐसे स्पीशीज होती हैं जो पैरासिटिक होती हैं लाइक मॉस्किटोज वगैरह, जो कि डिजीज कॉज करती हैं ह्यूमंस के अंदर और मतलब अगर किसी और भी ऑर्गेनिज्म में हो तो डिजीज कॉज कर सकती हैं. Some insects perform complex ecological roles. Blowflies, for example, helps consume carrion but also spread disease. कुछ ऐसे इंसेक्ट्स होते हैं जो कि मतलब इकोलॉजिकल रोल इनका ये है, जैसे कि ये ब्लो फ्लाइज हैं, ये मतलब कैरियंस के ऊपर अपनी फीडिंग करती हैं. मतलब कैरियंस वो होते हैं जो कि डेड एनिमल्स होते हैं, उनके ऊपर मतलब फीडिंग करती हैं और उसकी वजह से बहुत सारी डिजीजेस जो है ना वो काफ़ी स्प्रेड होती हैं. उसके बाद आपने बताया कि इंसेक्ट पोलिनेटर्स आर एसेंशियल टू लाइफ साइकिल ऑफ मैनी फ्लावरिंग प्लांट स्पीशीज. जो इंसेक्ट के मतलब आगे आपने कहा था कि हम पढ़ेंगे कि हाँ पॉलिनेशन का प्रोसेस के जो मतलब इंसेक्ट पॉलिनेटर्स हैं वो बहुत सारे ऐसे प्लांट्स हैं जिसके ऊपर पॉलिनेशन का प्रोसेस करते हैं. अगर वो नहीं होंगे तो प्लांट्स भी तो इंसेक्ट्स भी पॉलिनेशन नहीं करेंगे अगर वो वाले प्लांट्स उनको अवेलेबल नहीं होंगे. मैनी इंसेक्ट्स आर कंसीडर्ड
फ्लावरिंग प्लांट्स के लिए पॉलिनेटर्स इंसेक्ट्स जो होते हैं ना वो पॉलिनेशन उनके लिए जरूरी होती है.
Exactly.
Okay. Many insects are considered ecological beneficial as predators. हमारे लिए मतलब benefit नहीं ये वो वाला नहीं. Many insects are considered ecologically beneficial as predators. जैसे लेडी बर्ड की यहाँ पर एग्जांपल आपने दी थी कि ये मतलब एफिड्स वगैरह को खाता है तो इसकी वजह से ये उनका प्रेडेटर हुआ तो ये उनके लिए बेनिफिट है. और यहाँ पर a few provide direct economic benefits. Silkworms produce silk and honey bees produce honey. हमारे लिए भी कुछ इंसेक्ट्स होते हैं जो मतलब बेनिफिट होते हैं, जैसे कि सिल्कवर्म है जो सिल्क हमें प्रोवाइड करते हैं और बहुत सारे हनी बीज हैं जो हनी हमारे लिए देते हैं और हमारे लिए बेनिफिट है.
जी
सर बेसिकली सिम्बायोटिक रिलेशनशिप हुआ ना.
हाँ कौन सा वाला?
सिम्बायोटिक रिलेशनशिप सर जिसमें दोनों को फायदा होता है.
एग्जैक्टली बिल्कुल. अच्छा कोई पॉइंट कोई बताएं, कोई डिस्कस करने वाला?
नो सर.
सर वेक्टर डिजीज
सर
क्या है?
हाँ जी.
सर जो ये ब्लोफ्लाइज का लिखा हुआ था कि ये कैरियन को कंज्यूम करता है और डिजीज स्प्रेड करता है, सर कैसे डिजीज स्प्रेड करेगा? सर ये तो कैरियन को कंज्यूम कर रहा है, क्या कोई और एनिमल आके कैरियन को खाएगा या उस डेड एनिमल
जो
को खाएगा, क्या
फ्लाई है
उसको डिजीज हो जाएगी?
यार ये जो फ्लाई है ना, ये कैरियन पे अपनी फीडिंग करता है, तो अब वो फीड भी करे
हाँ
तो जाहिर बात है डिजीज भी, अब जिस ऑर्गेनिज्म पे जाके बैठेगा ना, तो वहां से ये डिजीज, जैसे हेपेटाइटिस मोस्ट कॉमनली जो है डिसीज, ये वो स्प्रेड करता है आई थिंक।
अच्छा, देखें देखें बिल्कुल ये ठीक है। ये इस तरह है ना कि ये इंसेक्ट जो है ये डेड ऑर्गेनिज्म पे फीड करेगा, ठीक है। वहां पे ये एग लेइंग करेगा, ठीक है। तो ये अपनी जनरेशन भी वो करता है, लाइक एडवांस करता है, नेक्स्ट जनरेशन में जाएगा, मींस के एग लेइंग और फिर उससे न्यू बर्न आएंगे, ठीक है। सेकंड, ये डिजीजेस भी कॉज करता है, मींस के एग ऑन वन साइड इट इज गुड, but on the other side it will cause diseases like dysentery. Dysentery is the main causes में इसका आता है कि ये जो ब्लो फ्लाइज हैं, इस तरह के फ्लाइज हैं, डिसेंट्री, ये जो स्टमक गैस्ट्रोइंटेस्टिनल प्रॉब्लम्स हैं, ये अक्सर
हेपेटाइटिस।
इसके, हाँ, हेपेटाइटिस में दो तीन किस्म के हैं। हेपेटाइटिस असल में हेपेटाइटिस ए जो है वो इसकी वजह से हो सकता है, बाकी नहीं। HCV जो है वो ब्लड बॉर्न है, HBV ब्लड बॉर्न है। जो HAV है, हेपेटाइटिस ए वायरस, वो जो है वो फूड बॉर्न है। तो वो गंदा पानी पीने से या इस तरह गंदा फूड खाने से, तो इस तरह की टाइफाइड और इस तरह की चीजें भी हो सकती हैं। सो दे आर पैथोजेंस फॉर डायसेंट्री एक्चुअली। जी जी जी।
सर
लाइबा,
वेक्टर सर
लाइबा,
वेक्टर डिजीज।
जी जी, अरीबा।
यस सर, वेक्टर डिजीज का एक दफा बता दें कि वेक्टर डिजीज से क्या मतलब बन रहा है यहाँ पर। डिजीज तो डिजीज होती है तो।
अच्छा, वेक्टर डिजीजेस का मतलब ये है कि ये डिजीजेस को अपने साथ कैरी करेंगे, लाइक किसी कोई बैक्टीरिया को अपने साथ कैरी करेंगे, वायरस को कैरी करेंगे। वेक्टर वायरस असल में इसको इस वजह से जेनेरिक रखा है, लाइक अगर हम मॉस्कीटो को देख लें, मॉस्कीटो को अगर हम डेंगी को देख लें, सो मॉस्कीटो कैरी डेंगी, सो डेंगी वायरस कैरी कर रहा है और वो स्प्रेड करेगा हेल्दी इंडिविजुअल को। इस तरह आगे
एज अ
जाके हम,
कैरियर।
यस,
तो इसी
दे
तरह अगर कोई एजेंट है तो वो
ओके।
फिर कैरी कर रहा है डिजीज, तो हमारे लिए तो वेक्टर डिजीज होगी ना, क्योंकि वेक्टर तो हम सिंपल इस तरह ले सकते हैं कोई ऐसी एजेंट के थ्रू या कैरियर
हाँ,
के थ्रू जो
वो
हमारे लिए
वो
इंफेक्शन
लाइक
लेके
देखें,
आ
कैरियर
रहा है।
डिजीज है।
हाँ बिल्कुल,
ये
दे विल बी
वेक्टर
कैरियर।
एजेंट ही होता है
हाँ,
वेंडर।
एग्जैक्टली एग्जैक्टली, एजेंट ही होता है। दे विल बी कैरियर फॉर दोज डिजीजेस, या द एजेंट दैट कैरी द डिजीज। सो दे विल बी इंसेक्ट वेक्टर्स, सिंपली
सर
इनको
ये
हम क्या कहें जी।
वेक्टर वाले में ये कंसेप्ट नहीं आएगा कि जैसे हमने बायोटेक्नोलॉजी में पढ़ा था कि फॉरेन डीएनए, रिकॉम्बिनेंट डीएनए हमने एंटर किया, प्लाज्मिड बन गया,
तो
तो
नेम
वेक्टर है,
उसी से
इसमें भी
दिया है ना, तो उसमें
अच्छा
वेक्टर हम
अच्छा,
एजेंट के तौर पे यूज
वो
करते हैं,
तो
हाँ,
हमारे
यहाँ
लिए
पे
बेनिफिट
वेक्टर
अच्छा
जो
है
है
ना।
डिजीज का एजेंट है।
अच्छा,
वो एक
लेट मी,
प्रोसेस के अंदर वेक्टर यूज कर रहे थे आप लोग, कि एक वेक्टर के
एक
एजेंट
मिनट
को
एक
किस तरह
मिनट
आपने
एक मिनट,
प्रोसेस में यूज किया है।
अच्छा, एक मिनट सब्र
लेकिन वो
करें,
बेनिफिट भी तो होता है ना।
मैं आपको क्लियर कर दूं। यहाँ पे आपको स्लाइड नजर आ रही है। एक होता है
यस
प्लाज्मिड
सर।
वेक्टर, एक होता है प्लाज्मिड वेक्टर, ठीक है। प्लाज्मिड वेक्टर का मतलब है कि ये कैरी करेगा कोई जीन ऑफ इंटरेस्ट, ठीक है। जो हम वेक्टर यूज करते हैं, दे कैरी सम जीन ऑफ इंटरेस्ट। इफ वी हैव अ प्लाज्मिड, इफ वी हैव अ प्लाज्मिड और उस प्लाज्मिड का कोई छोटा सा पोर्शन है, दे विल बी, सॉरी, सो उसका छोटा सा एक पोर्शन होगा, एंड दैट पोर्शन विल बी लाइक, ये जो है, ये पोर्शन जो है ये इंसुलिन जीन का है। सो दिस प्लाज्मिड कैरी दिस जीन, सो इसको हम क्या कहते हैं, प्लाज्मिड वेक्टर। और अगर एक इंसेक्ट है, और लाइक एक इंसेक्ट है और दैट कैरी सम पैथोजन, ठीक है। सो अगर कोई पैथोजन कैरी कर रहा है, सो उसको हम क्या कहेंगे, उसको हम इंसेक्ट वेक्टर कहेंगे। सो वेक्टर इज अ जेनेरिक टर्म, ये फिजिक्स वाले वेक्टर से डिफरेंट है, स्केलर और वेक्टर से। सो बायो में वेक्टर जो है या प्लाज्मिड वेक्टर होगा या इंसेक्ट वेक्टर होगा, दे आर कॉमन, दे आर सेम,
ओके सर।
ठीक है।
ये ओके सर।
सो जी, सो शुड आई गो फर्दर?
Yes, sir.
यस सर।
Okay, and let me check the chat. Yes, you are right, Osama Ajmal. So they will they will be vector for diseases, for infectious diseases as well. ठीक है. Okay, and इन्फेक्शियस डिजीजेस का कॉन्सेप्ट थोड़ा सा डिफरेंट है कि फॉर इंस्टेंस एक बंदे को मलेरिया हो गया है तो वो दूसरे को भी ट्रांसमिट हो थ्रू द इंसेक्ट, ठीक है। लेकिन एक बंदे को अगर लाइक डायरिया हो गया है तो वो इन्फेक्शियस नहीं होता, दूसरे बंदे को लगता नहीं है इस तरह, ठीक है। सो दैट कुड नॉट बी लाइक इन दैट सेंस इन्फेक्शियस, सो दैट्स वेरी फ्रॉम लाइक एग्जाम्पल टू एग्जाम्पल, ठीक है। So like we should move further. I have a video for you, and this is regarding sericulture. Like हमने इससे पहले हम पढ़ चुके हैं कि 4 stages of insect life होते हैं in complete metamorphosis में. So how they are beneficial. हम ये भी देख चुके हैं कि some insects are economically beneficial. So how they could be beneficial? Let's see. आवाज आ रही है उसकी वीडियो की?
नो सर।
नो सर।
अच्छा, वीडियो की आवाज नहीं आ रही, सो लेट मी wait, it will have
Sericulture.
अभी आ रही आवाज?
Yes sir.
Can you hear? Okay, that's
Yes.
good. That's good. That's good.
Sericulture. In this module, you will learn about sericulture. Silk is a fabric with an attractive luster and drape. Called the queen of fibers, it is used not only to make beautiful clothing, but also for upholstery and soft furnishings such as curtains, cushions, and wall coverings. Silk is produced naturally by larva of silk moth. The best variety of silk is obtained from the larva of the silk moth, Bombyx mori. The practice of rearing silkworms in captivity to produce silk on a large scale is called sericulture. Sericulture starts with laying of eggs by the silk moth. The adult yellowish-white female moth lays pinhead-sized, slightly yellowish eggs on a special paper set out by the silk farmer. The eggs are uniformly spread on egg frames and then covered with tissue paper and an outer frame. These frames are kept in an incubation chamber for about 20 days, where they hatch due to the warmth. After 20 days, egg frames are taken out, kept on a tray and opened. In these 20 days, eggs hatch into about half a centimeter long black larvae. These egg frames having larvae are then covered with fresh mulberry leaves by the silk farmer. The larvae then crawl out of the egg frames and feed on the mulberry leaves day and night for 4 to 6 weeks and grow into an adult larvae. After approximately 6 weeks, the adult larvae stop feeding. Farmers transfer these larvae to mountages. Each larva then produces a single continuous silken thread and wraps this thread around itself to form a protective case called a cocoon. The cocoon formation completes in 3 days. The larva first changes into a pupa and then into an adult silk moth which breaks the thread of the cocoon and comes out of it. Since the silk thread of the cocoons is damaged by the silk moth while coming out, silk farmers usually kill them by putting 10-day-old cocoons into hot water. The hot water also loosens the long silken threads of the cocoons. Loosened threads from several cocoons are then wound into yarns to make strong threads which are woven into cloth. In this module you have learned Sericulture is the practice of rearing silkworms to produce silk on a large scale. Sericulture involves the following steps: laying of eggs by silk moths, hatching of eggs into larvae, formation of adult larvae, formation of cocoons, and extraction of silk threads.
Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and this was actually about sericulture, and this is like we have talked about previously that how they are beneficial. So this is one of the example. And next is okay, and we have another video for apiculture, like rearing of honeybees.
Okay, time to head to work. But before this honeybee starts her commute, she's prepping her tools. Because honeybees collect pollen. You knew that. But it's not as simple as you might think. Plants want the bees to carry the pollen away and spread it to other flowers. That's pollination, how plants reproduce. But bees also need to carry lots of it home. Pollen is a protein-packed food for the hive. Luckily, they have the right gear. They're hairy, like tiny flying teddy bears. She's covered in 3 million hairs for trapping pollen. They're even on her eyes. Here on her legs, they're shaped into spiky brushes and flat combs. When she lands on a bloom, she really gets in there. Nibbling on the flower's anthers detaches the pollen. Time to pack up her haul. She cleans it off her eyes and antennae with those brushes on her front legs, like windshield wipers. Here it is up close. That leg wipes the pollen right off her eye. Then she moves the pollen from leg to leg, like a conveyor belt. Front to middle to back. The bee does this super fast while she flies from bloom to bloom, moving the pollen into special baskets on her back legs called corbiculae. She bends her leg, using it to squish the pollen into a ball, packing it together with a little saliva and nectar. She can get as many as 160,000 pollen grains into each ball. She's hauling as much as 1/3 of her weight. Back at the hive, meal prep is about to start. But the pollen isn't for making honey. The honey, under this wax, is made from nectar. They eat it for its sugar. Bees turn pollen into something completely different. Bee bread. That's their source of protein. Step 1. Find an open spot. Step 2. Deposit your goods and pack them neatly. Step 3. Let the pollen marinate with a hint of honey. And voila, it's ready. The pantry is stocked, both for adult bees and the babies that are growing in the cells next door. The adults pop in to drop off a special bee bread snack. A little home cooking for the hive's future hard-working flyers. Okay, more bees? We'll keep them coming. Blue orchard bees build nests that look like stunning jewels. And bumblebees really have to shake what they've got to get their pollen. One more thing. If you love Deep Look, why not join our Hive Mind on Patreon today? We've got a limited time offer to sweeten the deal. Link is in the description. Thanks.
ठीक हो गया? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and next to it is morphology and physiology of insects. So we have like we can study different parts of the insects. They have different parts like we already have covered, like they have head, thorax, and abdomen. So this is the head, this is the thorax, and this is the abdomen. So the antennae is here, like they are numbered. This is the antennae. The second one is ocelli. Ocelli. So this is the lower ocelli, and this is the upper ocelli. And these ocelli, they are actually they sense light, they sense movement actually, and they are other than the compound eye. And this is the compound eye. The compound eye, they have millions of eyes within the same eye. So these are the sensory eyes. They are different. The ocelli are different eyes. And this is cerebral ganglia, cerebral ganglia, and this is the prothorax. This is the prothorax, and after that the dorsal blood vessel. This one, the dorsal blood vessel, this one, and after that, this one in the gray. This is a tracheal tube trunk with the spiracles, and after that, mesothorax. This one is this is the prothorax. This is the mesothorax. This one, this region, and here from here to here. From here to here actually, and after that the metathorax. So this is the thorax. The thorax has been divided into three parts actually. So this is the metathorax, and after that forewing, this one, the forewing, and this is the hindwing, and after that midgut. Where is that? This is the midgut. And after that, hindgut is there, and after that, this one is the hindgut. This one is the hindgut, and anus, and after that, oviduct. Oviduct is there, and nerve cord. This is the nerve cord, and after that, Malpighian tube. This one in the yellow. Malpighian tube, and after that is tarsal pads. The 21. Where is 21? The tarsal pads. These are the tarsal pads, and these ones. And after that, claws. The claws are here, and here the claws, and tarsus. These are the tarsus. And after that, tibia, and this will be the femur, and trochanter, and foregut. Foregut will be here. Where is that? This is the foregut. Foregut is 27. So it has been shown here, foregut. So this is midgut, and this is the hindgut. So this is the gut actually. And after that, thoracic ganglion. And this is thoracic ganglion, and after that, coxa. The coxa is here, the in the white. The coxa that this give rise to the legs actually, and after that, salivary gland. Salivary gland is here in the orange, and they will release saliva actually. And after that, suboesophageal ganglion. And this is the suboesophageal ganglion, and after that, the mouth parts. These are the mouth parts in purple. They are encircled in purple, and so on. Regular ocellus are a simple photoreceptor. If you can see, these are the eyes. They are the compound eyes. You can see they are the compound eyes, and there are three eyes-like structure, and they are actually ocelli. And actually, they are simple photoreceptors. They are light detecting organs, Like here you can see that is more visible here. These are the eyes, compound eyes, and these are the other eyes. And they consist of single lens and with several sensory cells. If you can see here, this is the ocelli, this one, and here you can see this one. And unlike compound eyes, ocelli do not form complex images. They do not form complex images of the environment, but are used to detect movement. So, so most arthropods possess ocelli. Some species of arthropods do not possess compound eyes, and only do they possess ocelli. So that means like majority of the arthropod species, they have compound eyes with these ocelli. Even there are some arthropods that only do have these ocelli. Am I clear up till now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and that's it. Okay, so a ganglion is a nerve cluster. We already have discussed that thing. That's this ganglion. So that is a group of nerves, cells, bodies located in autonomic nervous system and the sensory system. And this Malpighian tubules, these are the excretory organs of some arthropods, such as insects, arachnids. Okay, and that collect waste from the body fluids and discharge them into the hindgut. So they discharge them into the hindgut, and from the hindgut through anus they goes out. Okay, so one thing, if you have noticed, arthropods, in the arthropods there are insects as well as arachnids. So insects and arachnids are two distinct things. They are two distinct like animals. So we can differentiate between them. So every organism that is small in size and that is arthropod, and they have many legs, like, so they are not like insects. Insects by definition, we already have discussed that they must have 3 pairs of legs and 3 body parts, and that's it. And they have head, thorax, and abdomen with 3 pairs of legs.
Chitinous exoskeleton.
Yes, exoskeleton, with exoskeleton, exactly. So, but arachnids are different. They are, even though they are arthropods, but they are not insects. And how we can differentiate between them? If you can see the two like pictures in the figure, one is ant. One is ant, and the other one is spider. So this one is insect, and the spider is not insect, that is arachnid, because if you can see, they have 4 pairs of legs. They don't have 3 pairs of legs. You can see 1, 2, 3, and 4. And similarly from here, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And they have abdomen. They have cephalothorax. They don't have like the head part is not like differentiated from the thorax. And they don't have wings. Insects do have, and majority of the insects. And later on, if we go into the detail, so you can see first difference is the pairs of legs. So they have 4 pairs of legs, they have cephalothorax, and they have abdomen. And the insects are small arthropods who possess 6 legs, 1 or 2 pairs of wings. And arachnids are wingless arthropods having body with cephalothorax, abdomen, and 8 appendages with no antennae. Here you can see no antennae, but was and these are the jaws actually. And okay, so and most terrestrial, the insects are mostly terrestrial. Some are aquatic and parasitic. And arachnids, they are mostly terrestrial. Some are parasitic. And consist of 3 pairs of appendages. They consist of 4 pairs of appendages. And many have wings. They don't have wings. Possess mandibles. They have, you can see, like they have mandibles in the insects. We have many like this, the mouth parts. They like I think in the coming slides we have like insects diagrams and the pictures. So the mouth part, they have mandibles, and they don't have mandibles. They have the chelicerae like mouth parts. And the body is divided into head, thorax, and abdomen. And here the body is divided like we have discussed earlier. They don't have the clear-cut differentiation between the head and the thorax is not possible in arachnids. And in insects, they have one pair of antennae, and in arachnids, they don't have antennae. And if further, so before this, in the previous class, we have like talked about some beneficial insects like जी बताएं please.
ये भी एंडोस्केलेटन होता है इनका या एक्सोस्केलेटन होता है?
Exoskeleton ही होगा.
जी exactly. They have exoskeleton by arthropods actually. ठीक है
सर है तो क्लास आर्थ्रोपोड की ना?
आर्थ्रोपोड की क्लास है. यस आर्थ्रोपोड की क्लास है.
इस वजह से काइटिनस एक्सोस्केलेटन होगा.
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल. So previously we have discussed some beneficial insects like honeybees and silkworm. We do have some parasitic insects as well. And the most famous example of plant infecting insects is aphids. What are aphids actually? They are soft, pear-shaped, small insects of about 2 millimeter, belonging to the taxonomic family Aphididae, and the order is Hemiptera. And aphids belong to phloem-feeding insects, and there is specific part of specific tissues within the plant. You already know better than me that there are two parts, that is phloem and the xylem. The xylem, they transport the water, and phloem, they transport the food. So as the phloem do have food, so the insects feed on the phloem for food. Okay, so the aphids, they feed on the phloem for food, because the plants have food within the phloem, which locate and must locate sieve elements during the stylet penetration. So just underlying the epidermis, there is a phloem layer. So they need to have the mouth parts that could penetrate the epidermis and could locate the sieve elements within the phloem, so that to drag the food from the plants. So if I have your few minutes, I am coming back. Okay, and so they are phloem feeding insects. So they need to have the mouth parts that could penetrate the cell wall, and that could penetrate the hard surface of the plant, and could penetrate and could reach out to the sieve elements to drag out the sap, or we will simply say the phloem from the plants. And what will be the next? The stylet, that is the mouth part that is used to feed on the plants. So the stylet is actually, they have two mouth parts, and the first one is salivary canal. They have two canals actually. The first one is salivary canal, and the other one is food canal. If I could draw that, so if that is the mouth part, so it will have two, the mouth part is divided into two canals actually. This one will be, the first one, this one will be salivary canal, and this one will be, and this is actually the head of the insect actually. And if you can draw that. Okay, so with the salivary canal, what will happen, and this is, if this is the plant cell. So it will penetrate the stylet. If this is the insect, okay, it will penetrate the stylet to the phloem. If this is the phloem tissue, so what will happen? The insect, this salivary canal, it will release saliva through salivary canal, and it will inject that saliva into the plant cells. And now through food canal, it will drag food and extract food from the plant. So these two canals are there as a part of the stylet. So first one is salivary canal to inject saliva into the plant, and the second one is the food canal to suck food from the host plant. Is it clear?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any question up till now?
No.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Okay. So what will happen next during the feeding? So aphid secrete two types of saliva now through salivary canal. One is the gelling saliva and the other one is the liquid saliva. The gelling saliva is secreted during the stylet penetration. When it penetrates the stylet into the plant cells, it will secrete gelling saliva first. And this gelling saliva will it will be used to solidify soon after, to solidify the puncture soon after the stylet exit from there, and presumably to seal the puncture to avoid loss of the sap soon after feeding. When the feeding is complete and it's drag out the stylet, so there is a need to mend off and to seal the puncture that has been produced. So the gelling saliva will be secreted by the aphid through salivary canal to seal that puncture. And second one is the liquid saliva. The liquid saliva is secreted intracellularly and intracellularly during the cell puncture, and it will change the phenotype of the plant. And aphid saliva is a complex, so aphid saliva, when it is has been seen and observed, aphid saliva is a complex of proteins that may alter aphid performance as well as the plant defense responses towards the aphids. Is it clear up till now?
Excuse me, sir.
जी जी
सर ये जेलिंग सलाइवा और लिक्विड सलाइवा इसकी समझ नहीं आई बिल्कुल।
अच्छा, जो असल में पहले जो हमने बात की कि इसके स्टाइलेट के दो पार्ट्स हैं, एक जो है वो सिलावरी कैनाल है, दूसरा जो है वो फूड कैनाल है। फूड कैनाल से ये जस्ट फूड वहां से ड्रैग करेगा, मींस के वहां से सक करेगा फूड। सिलावरी कैनाल में अब दो किस्म के सिलावा आएगा, एक को हम कहते हैं जेलिंग सिलावा, दूसरे को हम लिक्विड सिलावा कहेंगे। लिक्विड सिलावा ने क्या करना है, उसने क्या करना है, उसने एफिड के परफॉर्मेंस को और प्लांट के डिफेंस रिस्पॉन्सेस को चेंज करना है। मींस के प्लांट का डिफेंस रिस्पॉन्स इस तरह ना हो कि वो एफिड, क्योंकि प्लांट में भी डिफरेंट केमिकल्स होते हैं, तो वो एफिड को किल ना कर दें या इस तरह की चीज बिहेवियर शो ना करें। ठीक है, सो उसके लिए वो क्या प्रोड्यूस करेगा, लिक्विड सिलावा। और जेलिंग सिलावा क्यों प्रोड्यूस करेगा, जब फीडिंग कंप्लीट हो जाएगी, फीडिंग जब कंप्लीट हो जाए, जो पंक्चर हुआ है ना सेल, तो इसने जब स्टाइलेट पेनिट्रेट किया है, सेल पंक्चर हुआ है, तो उसको सील किया जाए ताकि वहां से सेल सेप जो है वो बाहर ना निकले दोबारा फिर। ठीक है, क्योंकि वंस द सेल्स आर पंक्चर्ड तो अंदर जो भी लिक्विड है उसने बाहर आ जाना है, तो उसको सील करने के लिए जेलिंग सिलावा, द एफिड विल प्रोड्यूस जेलिंग सिलावा। इज इट क्लियर?
सर ये होस्ट सेल को वापस से रिपेयर करने के लिए जेलिंग सलाइवा सेक्रेट करते हैं?
यस यस, होस्ट प्लांट जो है, प्लांट को रिपेयर करने के लिए दोबारा वो प्रोड्यूस करेगा जेलिंग सिलावा। एग्जैक्टली,
ओके सर, थैंक यू।
होस्ट सेल्स को, एग्जैक्टली। Okay, and next, if you can see, this is the overall diagram of aphid, like how it will, like if you can see the purple color the pink color aphid, it has two canals, the salivary canal, the food canal, and the salivary canal. And through salivary canal, it will release saliva into the plant, and through food canal, it will drag the food from the plant, and it will go to the stomach and midgut and so on, and it will like midgut and hindgut and the digestive system of the aphid. Same when like if you can see this like this thing, this is the life cycle of the aphid. It will produce eggs. Eggs will produce adults, and the nymphs will produce, and they will produce again that they will grow into aphids. But this aphid has two types of life cycle. It either can produce eggs or it can produce nymphs through parthenogenesis. So it can and it can produce eggs through sexual reproduction, and through parthenogenesis it can produce like nymphs directly. And it is the adult that has wings. Now these are some predators. They will eat and they will feed on these aphids, like Aphidius species. This is a bee. It will feed on it will lay eggs within the aphid. Similarly, ladybird beetles and this lacewing, they are also predators of these aphids. Ants is a protector of aphids. It protects ants, actually protect the colonies of these aphids. Why ant protect the colonies? Because they will produce they will secrete a sugary material. Where the colonies are there, aphid colonies jahan pe hote hain, wahan pe aphids, they secrete sugary content. And due to those sugary content, most of the time you will see fungal growth there, because the sugar will attract fungus and the fungal growth will be there. Similarly, ants will be attracted to the plants where aphids are there. So how you will detect there are aphids on a plant? When you see there are ants on a plant, so you can assume there will be aphids, because the aphids are producing sugary compounds. When there are ladybird beetles, if you observe ladybird beetles, so you can assume there are aphids, because ladybird beetle feed on these aphids, and so on. And rest is this is about the virus, how it carry virus. So just like this will be this can be a vector for viruses as well. So on one side, it affects the plant growth by feeding on these plants. On the other hand, it will transmit viruses to these plants. And how the virus will replicate within these plants, this is another story. And how these plants will replicate, this is another story. They will replicate through seeds, and you can see there will within the plant community, you will observe viruses, you will observe lacewings, you will observe ladybird beetle, you will observe aphids, you will observe Aphidius species, you will observe ants, you will observe like the adults of these aphids, so and so on. And so this is actually the ecosystem of the micro flora of these microenvironment of these plants actually. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
और कोई इसको explain कर देगा? अगर कोई explain कर दे, it will be better for the whole class actually. Who will explain? Laiba जी. Laiba Sajad. Okay, who will explain?
Sir, which diagram?
Yes, फर्स्ट डायग्राम है, उसके अंदर उन्होंने इंडिकेट किया हुआ है कि जहां पर भी एफिड होगा वहां पे देयर विल बी फॉलोइंग प्रेडेटर्स, वन ऑफ व्हिच इज ants, and there could be Aphidus species or ladybird beetle or lacewing. These are the predators. And सर जो दूसरी डायग्राम है वो मुझे थोड़ी कंफ्यूजिंग लग रही है.
अच्छा, ये इसके स्टाइलेट और ये बता दें what are they actually?
सर मे आई?
जी प्लीज।
ये टिक है, और टिक इज बाइटिंग।
फिर यहाँ पे बता रहा है कि एफिड प्लांट पे फीड कर रहा है कि कुछ इंसेक्ट होते हैं जो अपनी फीडिंग के लिए प्लांट करते हैं, तो वो इसमें बेस्ट एग्जांपल एफिड्स की आती है। एफिड्स क्या करते हैं कि अपने स्टाइलेट प्लांट्स में हार्ड पार्ट ऑफ द प्लांट लाइक सेल वॉल वहां पे पेनिट्रेट करवाते हैं। वहां पे प्रोसेस होता है फ्लोइंग फीडिंग इंसेक्ट, ये वहां पे प्रोसेस होता है। उससे स्टाइलेट से अपनी स्टाइलेट में इनकी दो कैनाल होते हैं, एक सलाइवरी कैनाल होती है और दूसरी लिक्विड कैनाल। जो सलाइवरी कैनाल होती है वहां
फूड
पे
कैनाल,
फूड कैनाल, जो सलाइवरी कैनाल होती है वहां से दो सलाइवा रिलीज करते हैं, जेलिंग सलाइवा एंड लिक्विड सलाइवा। जो लिक्विड सलाइवा होती है वो प्लांट के जो इंटरसेलर कंटेंट होते हैं उससे डिस्पर्स करने से रोकती है, जबकि जो फीडिंग
लिक्विड सलाइवा,
लिक्विड जेलिंग सलाइवा वो जो पोर बनता है, जो उससे अपना स्टाइलेट डाला तो उस पोर को फिल करने में मदद करती है।
ठीक हो गया। अच्छा, सेकंड थिंग, ये जब अपना सलाइवा रिलीज करते हैं, सो दिस सलाइवा इज टू टेस्ट द प्लांट। वहां से जब ये फीडिंग करेगा तो अगर ये देखा गया है, इट हैज बीन ऑब्जर्व्ड that if the plant is like nutritious, or if the plant is like delicious, it will produce more saliva. But if the plant is not delicious, it will produce less saliva. So that means there is some connection between the taste of the aphid and the like the release of saliva. ठीक है, समझ आ रही है?
Yes.
So, and next is, should go further, and these are actually so this one aphid was one of the example of like damaging insect, and the other example is cabbage worm. And cabbage worms, they are worms are larval form of the cabbage white butterfly. So from now onward, you need to understand that these larvae, they are not actually the larvae what we think. They are actually the initial stages of insects actually. And so in cabbage, they are there will be, you will, if you can see these larval stages, larval form. So there will be like the larval form of white butterfly, and white butterfly may be Paris rapi or Artogia rapi. And so these are the two types of white butterflies found on cabbages. And if you can see this beautiful butterfly, but in the larval stage, there you can see the damage they have produced in the leaves. Can you observe damage? So
Yes,
on one hand we have beautiful butterflies, but on another hand, their larval stages, they produce economic damages. And next is, there are several types of worms that are called cabbage worms, but two species are most common and the most damaging to garden vegetables. And in addition to cabbage, the worms can feed extensively on broccoli and cauliflowers, etc. And this is another example of mites, spider mite damage. So spider mite damage, you can see they have how much legs they have, how much appendages they have. They have 4 pairs of appendages. So that means by definition, it is not an insect. It is arachnid.
Arachnids.
Yeah, exactly. So to identify infestation with the spider mite damage, have you observed this type of damage within the plants? If you do, so just observe there to check the webbing of on plant. There will be web-like structures at the intersection of branches. So the web-like structure will indicate that this damage is due to spider mite damage. So this is a spider mite. So it damaged the plant. And another sign of spider mite infestation are leaves that are spotted or speckled. So the leaves will be spotted and speckled, and spider mite can range in color, and they can range. Here you can see the red spider from red to light brown, yellow or green. So that the color can vary. And there are another example of damaging insects, and that is white flies. That is the most damaging insect. Have you heard about cotton leaf curl virus?
No,
Cotton leaf
sir.
curl. Okay, cotton leaf curl virus जो है,
No.
that is most damaging virus of the plants. And cotton leaf curl disease, actually, in Pakistan, it has like Pakistan economy is like based on the major portion of GDP is like the cotton industry. They contribute to the economy of Pakistan. But we have two severe epidemics. Pakistan has faced severe epidemics of the disease there, and that is cotton leaf curl disease. And that disease is due to a virus known as cotton leaf curl virus. And there are different types of like viruses within that whole group of viruses, the bigomo viruses. And those viruses are spread by these whiteflies. And
Sir, please repeat the virus name. Cotton leaf virus.
Cotton leaf curl virus. And they are a group of viruses. The group of virus, the genus name is bigomovirus. So I would better write that for you. So that is bigomovirus, and it will cause disease known as cotton leaf curl disease. और जो वायरस है उसको हम कहते हैं cotton leaf curl virus. And cotton leaf curl, multan virus, cotton leaf curl, boreala virus. There are certain strains within that. There are certain species within that. And so this is so this insect is too much important, economically important. And these white flies, if you can see the beautiful white colored insect, so they feed off plants by sucking plant sap. So again, they feed on the phloem to drag food from there. A plant prepare and store food to transport food through phloem. But these insects, they drag food directly, the plant prepared food, from the sap or from the phloem for their own benefits. So that can cause wilting, stunting, and even death of the plant. And this whitefly, this belongs to family Ailurodidae and order Hemiptera. If you can observe, the aphid and whitefly have the same order. Here you can see they belongs to Hemiptera, and aphids also belongs to Hemiptera. They are Aphididae family, and they are Ailurodidae family, belongs to Ailurodidae family. And damage to plants, they feed on the cell sap. They secrete large amounts of honeydews that support unsightly or harmful infestation of sooty mold fungus. Like previously I said, the aphids produce sugary content, the honeydews, and insects are attracted towards those honeydews. Similarly, whiteflies also secrete honeydews, and insects and fungus, they are attracted towards that. And the secondary infections are fungal infections, the sooty mold disease. the fungus that may be the cause of that may be due to these aphids, these insects. They inject saliva that may harm the plant more than either mechanical damage of feeding or the growth of fungi. So growth of fungi are the mechanical feeding, so they release saliva, and as we have discussed before, in aphids as well as in whiteflies, they have two canals within their stylets. The first one is the food canal and the second one is the salivary canal. The rest of the things are common within aphids and whiteflies. But aphids, they transmit one types of viruses. Whitefly, they are vector for other types of viruses, and that depends. And transmission of diseases of plants. So
it's mean aphids and whiteflies have same type of feeding, the same common feeding pattern.
Yeah, they have same feeding habits actually. जी, अभी तक जो हुआ है.
Honeydew का दोबारा बता दें.
Okay. Honeydew में क्या होता है कि aphids and whiteflies, that is common to both, during their feeding they will produce honeydew, and honeydew को देखा गया है कि honeydew ये produce क्यों करते हैं, to empty their stomach. ये usually देखा गया है to create space in their stomach while taking food from the plants. They produce honeydews, और वो honeydews they have sugary contents. And due to the high sugar content within the dews, the exudents, the sugary content actually attract fungus. Sugar होने की वजह से fungus जो है वहाँ पे हो जाते हैं, and you can see if you can observe these leaves, they have fungus infestation. Fungus infestations are there, the accumulation of fungus, and this fungus due to the dew, the honeydews, and also you will observe insects. यहाँ पे तो insect नजर नहीं आ रहे. You will observe ants. Ants, they come for the honeydews. ठीक है? Is it clear?
Okay, sir.
Okay, so could somebody explain like up till now? Things are easy, but I want like for those who join now, or like there is some confusion within like our like talk.
सर whiteflies का हमने पढ़ा कि जिस तरह एफिड्स का पढ़ा था कि इंसेक्ट जो होता है, एफिड या इंसेक्ट है, वो प्लांट से फीडिंग लेते हैं अपने लिए, ठीक है, और वो फिर शुगरी कंटेंट रिलीज करते हैं जिसकी वजह से कोई डैमेजेस डिजीज पैदा होती है. इसी तरह व्हाइटफ्लाइज है, सेम उनका है फीडिंग पैटर्न के. व्हाइटफ्लाई जो है वो भी प्लांट से आपको वहां से सकिंग करती है, कॉज ये डिजीज करते हैं, विल्टिंग, स्टंटिंग, प्लांट के पत्ते के ऊपर जो खाद निकले होते हैं. और ये फैमिली एलिरोडिडी से ताल्लुक रखते हैं और ऑर्डर हेम्पटेरा से है. अब ये व्हाइटफ्लाई डैमेज किस तरह करते हैं, बिल्कुल वही कि अपना स्टाइलेट अंदर पेनिट्रेट करती है हार्ड पार्ट ऑफ द प्लांट की तरफ, फिर अपने उसके दो कैनाल के थ्रू आपसे सक करती है, फिल करती है, और ये अपनी व्हाइटफ्लाई में एक फर्क है, ये हनी ड्यू सिक्रीट करती है, यानी प्रोड्यूस करती है क्योंकि अपने पेट को एम्प्टी रखने के लिए. और हनी ड्यू जो प्लांट के पत्ते के ऊपर आ जाते हैं वो शुगरी कंटेंट से मिलकर बने होते हैं जो कि प्रीडेटर्स को अट्रैक्ट करते हैं अपने पर, जिसकी वजह से पत्ते के ऊपर ये ग्रुप जो निकला है फंगस. और सेकंड बुलेट में बता रहे हैं कि ये अपना इंजेक्ट इन द सलाइवा करता है मोर देन आइदर द मैकेनिकल डैमेज ऑफ फीडिंग, वही उसका कॉमन फीडिंग लेवल आ गया. और ट्रांसमिशन ऑफ डिजीजेस ऑफ प्लांट, ये डिजीज पैदा करते हैं, ट्रांसमिशन दोनों का सेम पैटर्न है.
Great. Okay, I think things are clear and easy up till now.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's good. And next is done.